So the reason that it was important to have this Shaktipat experience, and most importantly, who am I in relationship to the Supreme Creator of all things, to how I got to planet Earth, to how I finally attained a human body, and ultimately am here sitting here talking with you now about this experience. Hi everybody, I'm Seth Davis, and welcome to my channel, Center for Healing Arts. An experience I've had here in South India some number of years ago called Shaktipat, a Sanskrit word which means certain kinds of blessings given by the gurus. And it can come in many different forms. So there was a period of time where we were having first row seats every day, 2 times a day, and this happened for 10 days. This experience went on. So every day in the morning and evening I would write a letter to Sai Baba, and he would come right over and take the letters. So it became like a way to interact with the guru. So I always made sure to have my letters written. Sai Baba had answered all of my questions. I had gone through all kinds of rites of passage, and it just got to the point where I didn't have any more questions for the guru. I was reading a book at the time called Living with the Himalayan Masters by Swami Rama, and I fell in love with the story of Swami Rama and his guru. They lived in the Himalayan mountains, and they traveled all over together, and he had many mystical experiences. And one of the mystical experiences was that Swami Rama wanted Shaktipat from his guru, but his guru was playing a little game with Swami Rama and would not give him the Shaktipat. And so one day Swami Rama became angry and said, if you don't give me the Shaktipat, I'm going to go down into that river and jump in and kill myself. And the guru said, well, you should tie some stones to your body so that you sink to the bottom, because I know you're a very good swimmer and you'll swim to the top. And so Swami Rama left, went down to the water, and he jumped in. Just as he was about to drown himself, the guru appeared and gave Swami Rama Shaktipat. I somehow got the idea from reading this book, this story in this book, that I should ask my guru for Shaktipat. Of course, at the time, I had no idea what it really was. I didn't really think that he would give it to me. So I came that day with the letter in my hand, ready to receive the guru and the blessing. And it was early in the morning. I was in the front row, maybe 5 o'clock in the morning. Sai Baba came out. Not many people were there because he had normally been coming out at 9 o'clock, but today he came out at 5 o'clock. So only the people who were there at 5 o'clock got the darshan. I gave him the letter. He looked at the letter. He got a look on his face like, okay. And he put his hand like this and did a motion like that. Okay, that was it. He went on, darshan finished, we left the mandir. I was staying in the ashram at the time, and so I went back to my room in the ashram, and I laid down on the bed, and my roommate at the time said, hey Seth, I'm gonna go out with some friends, we're gonna go do something, we'll be back in the evening. I said, okay, great. I laid down on the bed. This was September 2005. I looked at the watch, it was 9:03, and I remember this because I remember thinking, wow, normally Swami comes out at 9:03. But today he came out early, so I was in the room and I was happy to have rest. I was laying down in the bed and I was getting ready for the afternoon darshan. Suddenly, I go into like a dream-like trance. And waking vision. It's like a movie in my mind's eye, and it's playing for me. And somehow I know internally, I know that this is the Shaktipat that Swami had given me earlier. And so now he's showing me what I am. He's showing me who I am. So the images begin, the experience begins, the remembering begins. And he takes me through every level of my experience, from the very first point of my creation to how I got to planet Earth, to how I finally attained a human body. I have consciousness, and I know that I'm inside of everything, but I know that I also don't have a body, and I also know that everything is together because I can feel everything and everything can feel me. And this is the beginning before time and space. The desire to understand what this is. What am I looking at? And as soon as I had that thought, light came into the picture and it expanded out. And somehow my consciousness was in that light that was being sent out. And it projected out into a physical form, which we know as a comet or an asteroid. So it's like something that's flying through space, you know, like a body of stone, or in the comet's case, I think it's ice. So there's different types of comets and asteroids and other things flying through space. And from what I saw in this vision, I can understand that all of those things, everything, has some kind of consciousness in it, because I myself was that very consciousness in space. So as I traveled through millennia, millions of years, projecting out into space, I just observed what I was looking at, and I would have thoughts like, wow, what a beautiful thing. And I'm looking at like galaxies and universes and lights, you know, and just as pure consciousness in the beginning, you don't know what those things are, you're just experiencing that, and somehow you know that you're not supposed to know what that is. That's why you're there, you're learning about that. There's a feeling of peacefulness, of shanti, and there's nothing fearful about it because you are part of everything. So you're not worried about like death or something like that, because there is no death. So I'm projecting through space, and I suddenly find myself being magnetically pulled into Earth's atmosphere. The comet hits the planet, and my consciousness gets projected out into some pieces of ice that are like way up in the Himalayas or someplace really pure like that, you know, maybe the North Pole or the Arctic or someplace like that. I don't know exactly where it was, but it was someplace icy and cold. And as my consciousness became familiar with the setting, it began to melt into the waters, into the streams. So I went from a frozen water into the moving water. And from the moving water, I went into the grasses that were growing underneath the tundra. So as my consciousness was changing forms, I was also changing my observations. So as I became grass, you know, an insect came and started eating me, and then I became the insect, and then a bird came and it ate the insect, and then another animal came and it ate the bird, and so on and so forth. But over millennia and millennia of this process, eventually you go through so many incarnations of various things, of minerals, of plants, of animals, until finally we have the newest form, the newest creation, human body, which is a combination of many ingredients made up of galactic material. If you like this sort of thing, please hit the like and subscribe button, as well as the notifications bell. so that you don't miss any of the future videos that we make for you. Thanks everybody for watching. God bless and Godspeed. Ask me a question to get my mind going.